morning, everyone, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm Renee Cobb. This is Red Barn Radio's 18th broadcast season, and tonight is Red Barn Radio's 683rd live concert performance. Tonight, Red Barn Radio presents Wesley Michael Hayes. As a true holder of the title Okie from Muskogee, he grew up a country boy with a passion for sports and music. Wesley is not in the business of writing music to escape from life. Rather, his music is an outlet, and Wesley prides himself on the raw and emotionally honest quality of his lyrics. Having a background of playing several different instruments, the music itself seeks to bolster his writing, adding depth to lyrics that look for a way into the hearts of whoever happens to be in the audience. I'm glad you all are in the audience tonight. Let's please welcome Wesley Michael Hayes and his band to Red Barn Stage.
Just left the county courthouse with my new bride-to-be. We were filling out all the papers. We were gonna start a family. Well, imagine my surprise. I fell down on my knees and got sick. She got me so drunk that I didn't even know that she done played a damn dirty trick. I'm headed for a mountain. You ain't no damn good. I'm headed for a mountain, just like you knew I would. Yeah, I just swam across the river. I'm running through the woods. I'm headed for a mountain, 'cause you ain't no damn good. I think I'm gonna grow my beard out. That's what they do in a mountain life. I'm gonna be a Jeremiah Johnson and take a panther for my bride. Well, it can't be no more worse than living with the likes of you. Yeah, I'm king of the hill and my right man is a grizzly bear named Boo. Yeah, I'm headed for a mountain, 'cause you ain't no damn good. I'm headed for a mountain, just like you knew I would. Yeah, I just swam across the river. I'm running through the woods. I'm headed for a mountain. You ain't no damn good. Steve Parnell, ladies and gentlemen. Damn good. I'm headed for a mountain, just like you knew I would. Yeah, I just swam across the river. I'm running through the woods. I'm headed for a mountain, ain't no damn good. I'm headed for a mountain, 'cause you ain't no damn good. Yeah, I'm headed for a mountain, like you knew I would. Yeah, I just swam across the river. I'm running through the woods. I'm headed for a mountain. You ain't no damn good. Yeah, I'm headed for a mountain. You ain't no damn good.
Good evening, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to the music of Kentucky. WEKU is Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, serving Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.fm. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. Lex Arts, Lexington, Kentucky's Arts Council, creating a great American city inspired by the arts. Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky. Broussard's is on Facebook. And Accuprint, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. Online at accuprint.us. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and hopefully like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
On the Red Barn stage tonight with Wesley are Randy Todd on drums and vocals, Mike Tillman on bass, Steve Purnell on guitar, and Stacy Eustace on vocals. Please welcome Wesley Michael Hayes and his band back to the Red Barn stage.
Good to be here. This next number I wrote quite a few years ago, specifically for my wife. In long years of marriage, we just kind of, at the end of the day, just try to hang on to each other. So this number's called Baby Hold On. She was a teenage beauty queen, every night wrapped up in her dreams, waiting for Romeo to sweep her off her feet. He was the son of a wayward soul. Every night on the streets he roamed, looking for a lover, someone to call his own. Must have been walking down the same street, 'cause people write books about how they would meet. She said, baby, hold on to me. You can look around forever, you won't find another like me. She said, baby, hold on to me. You can search the world forever, you won't find another you'll see. Years flew by, she was all alone, chasing kids, always on the phone, thinking to herself, gotta be more than this. He was working 80 hours a week, coming home flat dead on his feet. And she said, baby, you too tired to give me a kiss. Must have been thinking on the same page. He took her breath away like a good old days. She said, baby, hold on to me. You can look around forever, you won't find another like me. And he said, baby, hold on to me. You can search the world forever, you won't find another you'll see. Must have been thinking on the same page. He took her breath away like a good old days. He said, baby, hold on to me. You can search the world forever, you won't find another you'll see. She said, baby, hold on to me. You can look around forever, you won't find another like me. She said, baby. He said, baby. Oh, baby. Baby, hold on. a guitar guy, a little Time Changes Battle Axe. This next number's coming out with SSM Records in Nashville. And I sent them 10 of my originals. I'm not in the business of going out and finding people at my age. They just come and find me. So they sent me an email. I responded to it. And this is a song they picked off the new album, 10 of Me, called Do It Again. If you'd like to have that album, please check it out. It's on CD Baby and iTunes and Apple Music. I'm a school teacher, so I'd appreciate it if you bought it about 1 million times so I could retire. This is all true story except for smoking dope in a casino, kids. I did not do that. I'm drug tested twice a year because I look like I need to be drug tested. At this bar in Dallas, gonna have myself a beer. In walked this two-tone crew, said, you mind if I sit here? Though I didn't want to sit beside him, then he followed me into the bathroom. And out of 15 stalls, he was next to mine, so I had to piss on his boots. When he jumped back and squealed, I just gave a grin. I said, I'd do it again, do it again, do it again. Going back to Oklahoma, at the strip club in Tulsa, on a July afternoon. A real sexy mama, gonna show me a full moon. She said, now come on, where's your dollar bill? I said, I know that you can't be bought. And when she turned back around, I just couldn't resist. I slipped a penny in the corn slot. When she jumped back and squealed, she said, no, you didn't. I said, I do it again, do it again, do it again. Come on, Randy. Yeah. Woo! Just finished my show. Walked in the green room, everybody was rolling homegrown. They said, boss man, don't you get mad. I said, boys, by now you ought to know. And I'll be right back with a Mountain Dew and a big bag of Cheetos. And if you roll on again for another time, I'm gonna do it again, do it again, do it again. All right, let's have a sing-along, y'all, like we do in church. Now don't bring me no whiskey, 'cause I'll howl at the moon. Said the sun don't shine on the same dog's ass every sunny day at noon. No, no, you're looking at me kind of funny. Oh, no, no, don't you worry about me. From a Pentecostal mama and a hell-raising daddy. And if you send me around for another run, I'm gonna do it again, do it again, do it again. If you send me around for another run, I'm gonna do it again, do it again, do it again. Yeah. First time playing in Lexington, Kentucky. I hope it's not the last. Red Barn Radio. We just kind of stumbled on it. My wife and I driving out to Arizona. Stumbled on to Tyler Childers, and then a couple weeks later, my wife sent me an email. She said, you should try to book this place. I said, yes, ma'am. So here we are. Next number I wrote is a true story. All my stuff's true story, a little make-believe here and there. I was playing basketball in college. I don't pass the eye test, I know. Northeastern State University, Division II school in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Cherokee County. It's where the homegrown is homegrown. And I was trying to live right, and I wasn't very good at that. And I was at Revival with my roommate, Mr. William Timothy Stewart. And it was about 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, and that was the night to go out in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, which for me was every night to go out. So I got Jones in, and I snuck out the back door, ended up at a place called Buzzard's Roost on the Illinois River. And God has a very wicked sense of humor. So about an hour into my inebriation, I felt an excruciating pain on my ankle, and I was being bitten by a snake. True story, can't make it up. Years later, when I come to write this song, Roy D. Mercer was a big-time character in Oklahoma. How big a boy are you? He'd always get his fishing report short because he got run off by the rattle-headed copper moccasins. So when I went to write this song, I couldn't think of any other title but rattle-headed copper moccasin because I had no idea what kind of snake bit me, other than it hurt like hell. Well, it was Cherokee County back in '93 when that damned old devil got the best of me, waiting in the church parking lot on a Wednesday night. This was before I met you. I'd been living right, didn't want to backslide, but who needs help? Friends like mine. When I got to the dorm, they said Buzzard's Roost $1 that night. I'd just sit down with my drink, you see, when I felt the creepy crawly on me, and I looked down and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a cross-eyed snake with just one fang, and he shot that poison venom in me, and I said, I've been bit. I think I'll write a hit about a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Yeah, one cross-eyed, I think he was missing a fang. Well, he hissed with a lisp and he slithered with a limp. No, I'm drunk, but I'm telling again, it was a rattle-headed copper moccasin. I swear it was. Sitting at the table with my friends, you see, I have Philly, Two Bang, and Money P. But the only one that offered to help me was my man Steve. He said, oh, you drunk, it was just a bug. Man, he said, here's my keys and hey, good luck. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Well, Steve was no help because he couldn't drive a stick, but I popped that clutch and lickety-split. Headed to the local ER in Tahlequah. I said, look here, Doc, I'm in a fix. My knees are getting weak and I'm feeling kind of sick. He said, son, there's only one thing that bites the one thing. It must have been a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Yeah, one cross-eye and I bet he was missing a thing. Then he hissed with a lisp and he slithered with a limp. Know you're drunk, but I gotta ask again, was a rattle-headed copper moccasin? I don't know, Doc. Listen up here, look, it's good. Well, we headed back down Scenic 10 as I was going to finish what I began. But when we looked into yonder, the police had the road blocked off. They had them all lined up and cut for stuff, and at the back of the line, leaning on the trunk, was that cross-eyed sucker I knew I'd recognized. Well, we put a little closer, and to my surprise, he pointed to me and said, that's the guy. He's the reason I got a DUI. I see you ought to be careful about who you back, cause you headed to the pokey for a long, long night. You just became a Cherokee kind of legend that'll never die about a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Yeah, one cross-eye and I think you was missing a thing. Well, he hissed with a lisp and he slithered with a limp. No, drunk, but I'm telling again, I was a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Go on now. I said it was a rattle-headed copper moccasin. I swear it was a rattle-headed copper moccasin. I'm telling y'all it was a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Oh, you can't make it up. True story. I have to admit, I giggled for about 15 minutes while I wrote that song. And I bounce everything off of my wife because she's in the house with me and she's brutally honest with me. She's like, mm-hmm. That's her two replies, mm-hmm. This next one I wrote is about my mother. It's not on. My first album was with Sony, The Orchard. I don't even know who's in charge of that anymore, but I pulled it off. There were 12 originals, and I yanked them off because I made that entire album and like, hurry up, run, play the guitar, hurry up, run, play the drums, hurry up and play the keyboards, hurry up and sing it. And so after 5 years of listening to that, I realized how bad it was to me out in public, and I thought, I'm going to pull that stuff off, and this is one of those songs that everybody really loved because I wrote it for my mother on my mother's birthday. She was born in a little place called McLean, Oklahoma, which is between Warner and Muskogee, and it has a population of about 11, probably maybe more or less since they left. So there's nobody lives there. There's no town. There's nothing. And Dust Bowl era. I grew up a tough broad, and I was able to sing this for her on her birthday on a live remote from Nashville, which was actually on the day of her birthday, almost 6, 7 years ago, thereabouts. So a lot of people were taking a shine to it. The music video I left up on YouTube just because of that reason, so you can see it on YouTube. This is a song I wrote for my mother. She's listening right now. I love you, Mom. Polly Jean Hayes. So you guys don't screw it up because you're listening. She was born in the fall of 45 in a 2-room house full of love and pride, about 15 miles from Highway 69. On a farm she was raised with a family, never having much money, only what they need. She was one of 7 mouths her daddy had to feed. She could milk a cow, hook a horse to plow if she had to. She could bait a hook, throw a punch or two, she would fight you. She never needed the finer things, only love and joy and peace. That was my mama, that woman from McLean. Had to write a line in here for my daddy. Where the years flew by, she was quite a prize. She would turn the head of a young man's eyes from the shores of California, her love arrived. And he would bring a joy and he would bring a pain. He would bring a damn near everything, probably more than one heart ever could survive. It seemed that giving life to my sister now wasn't quite enough. She couldn't tame the heart of the man she loved, it was just too tough. She never gave us the finer things, what we had was what we needed. That was my mama, that woman from McLean. Now she's gray and old and her story's told. Don't know what I'll do when he calls her home. Only I can tell her story with a song. I'm gonna tell her now what she means to me with some words that rhyme and a melody. Every mama in this world can sing along. Yes, she gave her best when she had the test that her life would bring. But she never knew that she would raise a boy that could play and sing. I hope to give her the finer things, like the joy the song would bring. Oh, my mama, that woman from McLean.
Here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
Thanks, Renee. We're here on Red Barn tonight with Wesley Michael Hayes and his fine band of friends. They're here from a part of the country we maybe don't know much about, at least most of us here in the room, and I suspect there are many listeners who don't either. So I'm kind of looking forward to hearing you all take us for a little tour of the towns where you all live. Maybe we could start there. You could tell us, those of you who have a mic handy, or if you don't, you can step up to one. Tell us what town you're from. All from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
yeah.
Randy, I'll let Randy tell you where he's from.
Randy, the drummer.
We have 3 locations, so we got to be careful.
Oh, sure. Okay. We're sensitive to that here.
Yeah, I'm originally from California.
You are?
Yeah, I moved out here from the Bay Area in 1999.
You didn't move out here. You moved out there, you mean?
I moved out here.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes. Followed my parents back. They're originally from here, or from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helped them build a house, and was going to go back to California, but never made it back.
All right.
Love it out in Oklahoma, so that's where I stayed.
Nice.
He just legalized marijuana, so he really loves it.
Okay, good. Well,
Michael Tillman, step up and tell the fine people about yourself.
So Mike Tillman is our bass player here tonight. Mike,
sir.
where are you from in Oklahoma?
I'm from Coweta, Oklahoma.
Coweta.
I am.
Okay. And tell us about Coweta. If we were to be traveling and happen to go through Coweta, what would be one place where you would absolutely insist that we stop?
The stoplights.
The
Stop signs, stoplights. Insist on it. Yeah, the police will follow you. Roy's Chicken. There's
Roy's Chicken.
yeah.
Tell me about Roy's Chicken.
It is incredible. Not as incredible as a dinner you guys fed us, but pretty close. It's pretty close.
Well, I hope it's at least as good as that. So,
Yeah.
Do they do a special kind of chicken out in Oklahoma? Do they have is Oklahoma known for?
No, just cooked. No, it's that just happens to be a local restaurant that's been there since like 1970.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been in Coweta?
1971.
71.
Yes. A bird pooped on the fence and the sun hatched me out in 1971.
It's a documentary about it.
Yeah. 8 minutes long.
Netflix.
Oh, all right. All right, let's keep going around the horn. How about Steve Parnell on lead guitar? Where are you from, and
I'm
how'd
from
you get
Oklahoma.
there?
Let's see. I live in Paden, Oklahoma.
Paden.
Yes. Yes, they're
What's Paden
well.
known for?
Now, if you took a map of Oklahoma and folded it fours and then opened it back up and pushed a push pin right in the crease in the middle, you'd hit my house with it.
Oh, all right.
But they ain't many people there. As I was telling you earlier, there was 14 people in my senior class, and 12 of us graduated. So, and that ain't a joke. That's the truth. So, I was one of them. But we moved out there when my dad bought a horse farm. When I was 7th grade, we left from Skytook, Oklahoma, closer to where they're from. So, there's not much to tell about it. It's Oklahoma.
Well, you know, a class of 14.
Yeah.
That's a small class.
Yeah. Yeah, I was almost valedictorian. I was.
You and everybody else, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, a school that small. Do you have in a public school of that size? Do you have music program? Do you have sports?
No. Well, I played baseball.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, none of that other stuff. We barely had English. Some days, depending on whether the teacher showed up or not. So, but, yeah, there's not much to it.
Little known fact about Steve, he won't brag about this, but his dad was a starting wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders, and Steve himself is a United States Navy SEAL.
This is true.
Well, all right.
This is true.
Well, all right. Both.
He's
great,
kind of a badass.
Well, those are both great claims to fame. When did your dad play for the Raiders?
It was 1969. 60. I was brand new. He was coming out of the service at the time. So I didn't know much about it. I just remember, he broke his knee, pretty early on, and I was still a little bitty. We just after he did that, and after he got cut, we went back to Tulsa.
Yeah.
So that's where I've been ever since.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. But did you live in Tulsa for a time?
Well, that's where we moved to, and then which one? Oh, Uncle Keith. Yeah. We lived there, and then my dad got on the fire department, and then my grandpa was a captain on the fire department in Tulsa. My dad got on the fire department there with broken knee and all, and he retired from that. And but then he raced horses.
Yeah.
So he found a place in Paden. That's where we're at now. So.
Yeah.
But and Wes said tell you about my uncle Keith Coleman. He's a fiddle player for Bob Wills and Texas Playboys. So
wow.
my whole family's from all over around there, and they all play music of some kind or another.
All right. So you got it in your
I have a
blood.
cousin Leroy, that's kind of he still plays. I guess I ain't seen nothing in a while, but most of them just picked a little in church. So so it's come from a long big family that.
Did you learn to play music in church?
No, I learned in my bedroom. Yeah. I wasn't allowed to touch it at church. They knew what they was doing. So.
Was that pre-internet that you learned to play guitar?
Yeah, a few years.
Yeah. So we hear so many players now that come on the show, younger guys who talk about they learned. I'm really awesome players.
Right. Yeah.
Who learned to play from YouTube videos.
Yeah. I might have learned to play pretty good too if I'd have had YouTube back then. I don't know. Can't tell. I just there wasn't anybody around. I watched them, the people in my family play. That's how I learned. And just never had any lessons or anything.
But you never had any formal instruction of any kind. You just picked it up on your own.
No.
Who were some of your guitar heroes when you were growing up?
Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed was pretty much it.
Yeah,
That's
a good one.
Yeah. So because of that, I listened to Chet Atkins and Smokey Dacus and those guys. But Jerry Reed was the man as far as I was concerned.
And how'd you end up playing an upside-down Jimi Hendrix Fender?
I made it, and I just messed up when I did. So.
Do you fiddle around with putting instruments together?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't afford to have somebody else do it, so I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
I play music for a living. I ain't got no money. I whittle. There's plenty of stumps and stuff around there to whittle on. So.
Hey, you're talking to a bunch of teachers here. So, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who else? Who else is up here? How about Stacy? Some nice vocals over there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us about you and where you're from. And
Well, I'm from Westville, Oklahoma, and it's on the far eastern side of the state, right by Arkansas. And I'm a teacher. I teach junior high and high school students, and my husband and I both graduated from Westville, and all three of our children, and so now we're
wow.
there shoveling them through as fast as we can.
how old are they?
Our kids are 29 and two 27-year-olds almost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had our first grandson 5 months ago, and
Oh,
he's
come
the
on.
greatest thing ever. Yeah,
And is your husband here?
he is here. Yeah, he's here.
All
I
right.
drag him around with me lots of times. So
Well, that's nice that he could come.
Yeah.
And he came from, never mind. I was going to say, he came from Oklahoma as well,
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
didn't he? Wow, well, that's very cool. And how did you end up hooking up with these guys, with Wesley? And
well, Wes is also a teacher and a coach, and we kind of had some of the same friends and acquaintances. And my husband also played some college basketball around the same places as Wes, and they knew each other. And I had gone back and forth from different groups and country and gospel and some things. And Terry said, if you really want to sing and you want to sing often, you need to get hooked up with Wes. So, and
Yeah.
I started singing with them about 4 years ago. And right, 4, something like that.
I've
so
never kept track.
he doesn't have the heart to tell me not to show up anymore, so I'm still here. So
well, we've talked to the band members, Wesley, so we've gotten to know them. Now it's time to get to know you, and we'll get started and let you play some more music, and then come back for some more. So your last song was about your mom. It's a neat song.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you say your main, I guess you say your mom came from a family of bootleggers. Is that true?
That is true.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And what town? The town where?
When you're a bootlegger, it's everywhere. So they would just pack up and move every so often when the law would get on to them. And I asked, as youngster, where did the music come from? Because I was always fascinated with music, and her dad was one of 4 brothers that would sit and play music on the porch or wherever, guitar, fiddle, banjo, and mandolin. Those 4 brothers. And her dad was really the only one that turned out to be worth a damned, I guess you could say. So I would drag out his guitar from underneath his bed. It was an old guitar, and he didn't restring it, didn't keep it up, nothing. I just would bang the hell out of that one string until I give him a headache, and then he'd ask me to put it up. And so that was all I knew about my mother's side of the family, was that they were all from southwest Missouri, ended up coming into Arkansas, and then eventually settling in Warner, Oklahoma.
And what else did your family do in Oklahoma? What about your dad?
My father was a great influence on my music. My dad was from
Yeah.
the Bay Area, and grew up in the Haight-Ashbury time, and served,
wow.
and ended up coming back to Oklahoma to play baseball and basketball at Bacone Junior College in the mid-'60s, and that's where he met my mother. So you got a Bay Area transplant meeting a poor country girl from dirt floors and no running water, and here I am. So, he took me to my first concert, which was Jethro Tull, when I was 8 or 9 years old. And I did not know I was at Jethro Tull because my parents were not together then. They split up when I was young. And so when my dad would take me home, my mother would quiz me about, what did your dad take you to do? And years went by. I was in a record store in Nashville with my wife, weren't we? Like down on the main strip. And
Okay, hold on for 1 second.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you learned later? You learned later on,
Much later,
that you went to a Jethro Tull?
yes, because when my mom
show.
asked me
Okay.
what we did, I said, I watched a guy in a karate suit play the flute. And so years and years go by, and I'm turning these poster boards at this record store, and there's Jethro Tull in a karate get-up playing flute, and I'm like, holy shit, I went to Jethro Tull when I was little. Of course, my sister didn't remember it, and I really didn't remember it either, other than seeing that picture and that my dad would get in trouble for taking me places he shouldn't take me. And
When would that have been?
that would have been in like 78, 79 in downtown Tulsa at Mayfest.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that would have been after the sort of the Aqualung and all those sort of the.
Yeah. Yeah, Rumble in the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yep.
Yeah. It still doesn't. It all
Awesome
counts.
band.
My dad exposed me to all kinds of music, from Skinner to Hank Jr. to Earth, Wind and Fire. And just he loved everything. And every concert I would do, when the concert was over, he would say, "Hey, you know what you need to do next?" And we would do it. We would do that song. And the only song I was never able to do for him before he passed away was a Delbert McClinton song called "Giving It Up for Your Love." And we've made it a point to do that song every show since then.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Yes, we do. We do play it hard.
Hey, folks, I'm talking with Wesley Michael Hayes and his band. They're here from Oklahoma, and we're glad to have them here on Red Barn Radio. Let's get back to some music with Wesley Michael Hayes. Give him a hand.
Thank you. Next number I'm going to do, I wrote about my Uncle Dean, who grew up. When I was a child, he was a very hardened alcoholic, and I just never knew the story behind his life. And I asked my mother one day, tell me why he came to be what he was. And then later, late in life, he cleaned up and was so much more pleasant to be around, and he ended up becoming one of my favorite guys to hang out with. But everybody hits a patch of life which just kicks you in the ass, and you have to get up and dust yourself off and keep going. And I just happened to ask when this took place in his life, and it was 1968. So. I'm mute. I got nothing coming back. I'm on, but I'm not getting anything in the monitors. Okay. Still nothing? Yeah, I just put new batteries in it. Yeah, it's on. I'm thinking of a melody somewhere in my mind, a certain sound, a sweet perfume brings it back to life. The memories of a haunting love linger like a haze. They're keeping time with steel guitars that played on our first date. I left my heart in Kansas in 1968. She took my time, my money, I took a long interstate. The songs that fill my heart with pain
wake me up each day so I can spend eternity in 1968. Finally found that melody tucked back in my mind. I hear the lonesome cello cry to the words of Carol Ann. I'll soon be lost in sorrow's waves, returning to its sea. That's where I'll find those steel guitars playing just for me. I left my heart in Kansas in 1968. She took my time, my money, and I took along interstate. I asked the sun to stay away. Somehow he wakes me up each day so I can spend eternity in 1968. Somehow he wakes me up each day so I can spend eternity in 1968. So I can spend eternity in 1968. Next number I wrote is called Old Train. In my hometown of Coweta, Oklahoma, we had a train that would come through X amount of times per day, years and years and years ago, and it doesn't come through there anymore. And Steve and I went to Dark Horse in Franklin, Tennessee to record this EP. It's American Big Time EP. And it's funny because we had to work with like 7 or 8 millennials, and I love you, God love you. And this was the song that they took a shine to the most out of all the songs on the EP. So we dressed it up, and yeah, it is a good song. And I wrote it, so. I love it because we play so many places, and we do so many cover songs at casinos and fairs and festivals that when we come to do my originals, I'm like, hell, I got to remember how I wrote it, you know, and then find the right fret and all that stuff and remember the words. So my drummer loves this song. He absolutely loves it because he lives about 20 feet from a railroad track. That old train coming by my and I would sit up and look around, but there ain't nothing going on in this town except that old train at midnight. That old train. That old train coming by my house at sunrise still takes me back to a simpler time in my life, when we would ride our bikes around, chasing girls and killing time. That old train of sunrise. That old train. Go on now. That old train coming by my house at sundown, let me know time to get on back to my house, where we would gather and fill our cups, and Grandma tell us about what was up around that old train of sundown. That old train coming by my house at sunrise, coming by my house at midnight. Oh, that old train. Oh, that old train. Oh, that old that old Thank you. Thank you so much. I get a lot of song requests. This was it was the inspiration behind this song. I'm driving to Texas to do Thursday Night Texas TV, which was about 5 years ago, and I still don't think it's aired. I'm going down there, and
I get a lot of windshield time, and in that time is when I do a lot of writing, you know, because my ADHD brain will never shut off until I take a lorazepam, and then I can go to sleep. And in that time going down there, this melody came to me about people mostly women coming down to me and saying, "Hey, do you know that song?" And most, 99.4% of the time they're drunk. And I'm like, "What song is it? You know the name of it?" And they never know the name of it. And then I kind of sarcastically, being smart, I say, "Well, can you sing it to me?" And they're like, And I'm like, "Well, is it a love song? Is it a hurtful song?" It's always a hurtful song. So I knew it was a painful song, so I just came up with the idea to write this song called Sing Pain. And this ended up being our highest charting song on the Texas charts. She walked up to the front row, asked me if I could sing her a song. I said, "Yes, I will, but I'll need your help. Can you sing along?" But before I strum this guitar, can you tell me what you'd like me to sing? Oh, she said, "I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but I love it when you sing pain." I said, "Does it go like this? Like she left me when she walked out the door? Maybe Travis Tritt's I don't love you anymore." She said, "You take away my pain every time I hear you sing." Oh, she said, "I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I just love it when you sing pain." I hit that first chord, seemed like all of her tears hit the floor. She was full of pain, there's no doubt, so I helped her get it out. And she sang every word like she had been living a song. I knew right then I was helping her move on. I said, "Does it go like this? Like she left me when she walked out the door? Maybe Travis Tritt's I don't love you anymore." Said, "You take away my pain every time I hear you sing." Oh, she said, "I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I just love it when you sing pain." Come on, Randy.
Red Barn Radio is brought to you with the help of Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta. On Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, Broussard's is also on Facebook.
Listen locally, working in concert with people to embrace opportunities. Listen locally and engage in shared experiences, including music, theater, poetry, and dialogue and conversation. More on Facebook, Instagram, and listenlocally.com.
Red Barn Radio is also brought to you by Accuprint, providing printing, design, and fulfillment online at accuprint.us. And now welcome to the second half of tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio is coming to you live from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back Wesley Michael Hayes.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. Hey, Brad, any other questions you have for me? Like, what are my favorite hobbies? Do I like long walks on the beach? What's my favorite food? We could probably wrap that up after the show.
Can't shut him up if you get him started.
Yeah, don't get me started. This next song I wrote is for all the wild women out there in the United States of America, and you had a puppy or two or three or four, and you can't be wild no more, so you have to live vicariously. Yep, that's a big word. I learned it at Coweta High School in Miss Pemberton's English class. Vicariously through somebody else, and tell you all about their wild weekend and so on and so forth. So all you wild women, listen out there in Radio Land. If you like this number, it's on my EP titled Bent, because my mind is bent. This is Rebel Heart. Get my good side at 'em. She been known to chase her whiskey with a double shot of Crown. Yes, she love a line dance when she's feeling down. She don't really smoke much, except the kind you pass around. Yes, she only stands out when she's in a crowd. She was born a wild, free spirit, yeah, and unmatched breed of power. She likes to drink and fight and to make love, yeah, that girl's got a rebel heart. She likes taking road trips on her motorbike. Yes, she got tattooed when her daddy died. She likes playing guitar, banging on the drums. Yes, she gets real horny when she shoots a gun. She was born a wild, free spirit, yeah, and unmatched breed of paw. She likes to drink and fight and to make love, yeah, that girl's got a rebel heart. Bear the pain of motherhood, been shot down, misunderstood. She don't take much from any man, 'cause she ain't ever gonna give a damn. She's born a wild, free spirit, yeah, and unmatched breed of paw. She likes to drink and fight and to make love, yeah, that girl's got a rebel heart. Yeah, that girl's got a rebel heart. Yeah, that girl got a rebel heart. Oh, thank you. Y'all keep it going for all those wild women out there. That stayed on the charts for us down in Texas for 8 months. It's next number I wrote, it bounced around Nashville until I figured out you had to sell your soul to the devil to get a cut by a major artist. After I figured out that's the way it went, we just decided to release it on our own. My granddaddy was in WW2, served on the USS Andress, and my nephew was in Afghanistan and Iraq for 18 months. And so as a teacher, I'm very patriotic because I teach American history and military strategy. Michael, our bass player over here, his son was Special Forces, Michael Jr., and Stacy's brother was a United States Army Ranger, and Randall's uncle was a United States Army Ranger, and as of course I mentioned earlier in the show, Steve Parnell, our lead guitar player, is a United States Navy SEAL. So needless to say, we're a very patriotic crew, and we tip our hats to men and women everywhere who serve this country. And the fact that this is the greatest country on the planet, you can speak your mind, and if you want to color your hair bright purple and pink and pierce your nose, you can do whatever you want to do. And so whenever I wrote this song, I was listening to the outgoing president, not the current president, kind of spew out some garbage about our veterans. And instead of going to jail, I wrote a song because I'm much too pretty for jail. That's where you're supposed to clap. There we go. There we go. Golf claps included. Adam's like, whatever, dude. So I wrote this song called Cold Dead Hands. Very cliche, but the lyrics are anything but. This is the Westville High School senior song for 2020. Read about our nation, watch it on the news. Gotta tell you, it makes me sick. Got the red, white, and blues. Government wanna take my money, take away my land, take away all my rights. You gotta fight on your hands. 'Cause I'll turn out your lights and I'll fill you full of lead. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. There ain't no China red. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you're a legion of government, you can have my gun when you take it from my cold dead hands. Think about our veterans, how this country's treated them. From Afghanistan to Vietnam, they're the ones that fought and died, sacrificed to give you the right to stomp on a flag with disrespect while you're waiting in line for a government check. I'll turn out your lights and I'll fill you full of lead. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. There ain't no China red. I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you're a legion of government, you can have my gun when you take it from my cold dead hands. Selling out my country, all you politicians. One nation under God. I guess a man in the White House just forgot. Tell you what, Miss Hillary, if you want to take my gun from me, you better tell Slick Willie or the CIA. 'Cause this country boy loves the USA. Yeah, I'll turn out your lights and I'll fill you full of lead. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. There ain't no China red. Tell you what, Mr. President, I'll make you a deal. You can have my gun when you take it from my cold dead hands.
take it from my cold dead hand. If you want my gun, then I guess you ain't a real American. Thank you. I've got a friend of mine named Michael Adams, whose father was killed in action in Vietnam. Being an American history teacher, I have very short tolerance and patience for when we pledge allegiance to the flag and you take your time getting up. I'm the guy that helps you get up. So, you know, I as an educator, I think our kids need to know what this country is about, what it stands for, and understand they're blessed to live in the greatest country on this planet. So I wrote this song for Michael, who asked me to write it about his dad not getting to know his 3 sons because their grandfather was killed in action in Vietnam. So I wrote it multiple times over and finally settled on the honky-tonk version of whooping some young kid's ass because he didn't pay the appropriate amount of respect, and I've seen me do it, so it's been years since I've done it, but a heart attack won't slow me down. Let's do some I Like It. He was all marked up, he was tattooed and scarred, had a piece of shrapnel stuck in his arm. Drove an old army Jeep, he left at home before the war. When that jukebox called him across the floor like a Tennessee stud in a raging storm, slammed down his beer and he said, I wanna hear some Merle. There was a young punk standing in his way. He said, hey, old man, it's $1 these days. You need to put away your nickel and your dime. Well, I prefer them free, the things I like a good ass kicking on a Friday night. You're looking at me like you think you wanna try it. Yeah, I think I'd like it. I like it. He said, boy, you ought to think this through. I've killed better men than the likes of you. Gonna give you a lesson on the golden rule. And then after I'm done, you can buy me around. You can lick on your wounds while I dance around with your mama and your girlfriend. Will get down. And that punk said, do you know who I am? He said, I don't really give a damn. Before you were born, I fought 2 tours in Nam. You can buy us all just one song, or you can entertain us all night long. Either way, I think I heard you say that you were fine. Yeah, you know I like it. I like it. Now go on, get that wallet, boy. Dotted your eye, danced with your girls, and I stomped your pride. And I'll be here every Friday night. Come on back if you liked it. Cause I liked it. One more time. I like it.
Here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
All right, these are some great country songs you guys got going up here. And I love the way you guys are putting them together.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Tillman Todd rhythm section is making it happen over there. I really
Funkin'
love
it
that
up.
sound. Yeah, how about that, huh?
That's the first time that's ever been said.
Yeah.
We prayed.
Hey, yes,
Jesus.
and we have to add that you know, Stacy's got something going on there that we don't really see a lot on stage anymore these days, and she's doing. We usually see a green tambourine on stage, of course.
Yeah,
See the
we
blue
talked about that.
tambourine. No, it's really great. It makes such a difference.
Yeah, keeps me in line.
Yeah.
Brings out the seriousness in our eyes.
Yeah. Very, very, very intense.
The intensity.
Oh, really?
It's a Pentecostal tambourine.
Oh, right. Well, so I wanted to ask you, Randy, just before I lose you, Randy. You got some great stuff going on back there. You got a pretty tidy little kit there. It's not a huge kit, but you got some neat stuff happening. One thing I have heard numerous times is some interesting tone you're getting out of your bells.
Yeah, just right there it is, right in the center.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as bells are. No, but
Yeah.
I'm literally hearing like notes, different notes. And,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's what I do.
just
That's why he's here.
Drums
yeah,
are supposed to be felt, not heard.
yeah. Well, it's a nice sound. Really
Thank
liked
you so
it.
much. I appreciate
I've
it.
liked it in so many
Yeah,
of the tunes.
these guys
and-
bring it out in me.
Yeah, well, and you bring it out in them. It's just great
Thank you
stuff.
so much.
Hey, so Wesley.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of curious to know. We have a bunch of school teachers up here, at least a couple. And how do you put this together, doing the traveling, and what about the kids?
Well, we don't put it together. So we basically take a hiatus when my basketball season starts. I'm a basketball coach, so when the 1st of November rolls around, we just put everything on hold. So if we can't play something local in Oklahoma, casino driven or private party driven in December and January, then we just don't go. And my wife sent me the email, coordinates for this, and I thought, man, we got to try this. If I can go in the middle of the season, I just, I coach the way I play, which is 110 miles an hour, and my voice is my instrument. So I played for, everybody I played football and basketball for was a veteran. So I'm a drill sergeant very much so. So my voice is, minus the cussing and the degradation of your mother and so on and so forth.
Yes.
My voice is my instrument, so I strip it, I ruin it, whatever you want to call it. And so I have to pick and choose. So I'm only singing tonight because I didn't have a game for the last 7 days. If I would have had a game, I promise you, and my wife can attest to this, I would be hoarse. And I've hit some hoarse notes tonight. So it's to answer your question, is very carefully at the end of my season, which if we go a long ways in the playoffs, and ways is a word if you're from Oklahoma, then at the end of March, I just start booking out. So we go all of March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and then we just kind of, pick and choose November what we can do and what we can't do, based upon my voice. So
Yeah, but you're a classroom teacher.
well, I was, and we have in Oklahoma what's called alternative ed. Instead of whipping your ass, we give you alternative education. And 3 licks would probably cure you of what ails you, but they send them out there with me, and because I look the way I look, and because I'm crazy, they send me out there with these kids, and these kids know that we probably should toe the line since this is our last resort. And so I'm in alternative ed, and we learn how to get along in free society so that we don't have to learn how to get along in locked up society in the penal system. So that's my day job.
Yeah, and so what age kids you work with?
Every age. So
Yeah.
if they're the worst of the worst, the biggest turd in the shit pile comes to me. So I welcome them with open arms and say, hey, nice to meet you, do what I say or else.
And so do you actually do history teaching with
Yeah,
those?
I do. When I was in the classroom, we did American history, Native American history, which I love, military strategy. And like I said, I grew up playing for veterans, which was pay attention or else. And what I mean by or else, a textbook would visit your forehead, and you would, back in the good old days when you could get away with that stuff. So, you know, I'm a big, I love American history. So.
Well, this is kind of a question for both you and Stacy. What are some, you know, how are you drawn to education, and what kind of things do you feel like you learn from kids in a classroom?
Did you say learn from kids?
Yes.
Well, I think I can say you learn a lot what not to do from kids. And I haven't taught for a real long time. I've only taught for about 15 years. But and when people say, you know, it sounds kind of cliche that kids are different, but they really are, just in like the last 15 years. Parents are different, so thus the children are different. But I don't know. I think being unprepared is the biggest thing. I worked in banking for a long time before I started teaching, and the adults that would come in that had, when I was smarter, they had no idea how to balance a checkbook. They had no idea. I mean, they would come in and ask me to pay their phone bill for them. So now that's what I do. I teach my kids how to budget and how to fill out a checkbook and how to balance, and do all those things that, you know, hopefully they'll be better for that. You know, I used to teach them how to try to do English, but they were a lot like him.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah, brush your
This is how you
teeth.
put your socks on.
Yeah, you do learn a lot from kids about really, for me as an older person, how to go about things in the world now, like technology and things. I used to kind of teach computers once in a while, but now the kids teach me.
Yeah.
So I do learn a lot from them. Also, what not to do on social media. So that stuff too. Cheerleaders, are you listening? So, yeah.
Well, you bring a lot to kids by teaching them some of those things about budgeting.
Yeah, it was gone for a while.
Yeah.
Well, my coaches were instrumental for me because I was supposed to be a statistic, you know, because my folks split up and divorced, and, you know, the only thing for me was football, basketball, and baseball because that was my outlet. So I had coaches that took a vested interest in me. My uncle Henry Bias was a principal and coach, and my uncle I ended up playing college basketball for was, those two guys really basically, I always say saved me, but they just took enough of interest in me to keep me to toe the line and end up being the American dream that I am now. You know, incredibly wealthy as a teacher and
sure.
whatnot. But I was just, you know, coaching that made a difference for me. So I thought, you know, if I can't make money playing ball, and I'll just go make money, shit tons of money playing coach.
Well, we're nodding to veterans tonight, and let's nod to coaches too. Coaches do make a big difference in the lives of young men and women in so many ways. You had a lot of discord growing up in your household, and it was stressful for you as a young person.
Very stressful. I just watched the Bill Burr Netflix when he's arguing with his wife, and she's like, "I don't understand. Where is this coming from?" And I'm trying to explain to my wife, like, where is this coming from, as Terry can relate to me because we had very similar childhoods. It comes from dysfunction. And then at a young age, if you don't have counseling or some kind of help, which now I know I needed, that you develop bad tendencies. In my case, was rage. So I just I still have it. I still have trouble with it. And I wrote music. Athletics was my outlet for many, many years. And then when I could not play anymore, my wife and I had our second-born son 3 years after I was done playing ball in college. 3 years, and he passed away. And I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared to be a husband or a dad or anything. I certainly wasn't prepared for that, and that really just took me to a place in my life where I was incredibly unhealthy. And I had a good, sweet friend of mine named Stephen Baldridge who plays with Go Wing Express Bluegrass Band. He's like, "Dude, you need to write about your life. You lived a very messed up life. You just need to write about it." And so I started writing, and I was already writing. I started writing when I was like 19. I just thought everything was crappy, and I didn't want to share it with anybody. And, you know, you need validation as a songwriter. When you put yourself out there, you want to know that you don't suck. So, you know, the first song I ever completed, I was 28 or 29, and I wrote a song called Yesterday, which is inspired by an old David Allan Coe song called "If That Ain't Country, I'll Kiss Your Ass." And that song was a lot of my childhood. And I wrote that song and played it for Steven, and we were living in Branson, Missouri, and he was like, dude, that's a good song. And so I knew when he said that, you know, I need to keep going with writing. So I'm just sitting on a mountain of music for 20 plus years and waiting for my kids to grow up, and just jumped back in it about 8 years ago. So it's my therapy, so I don't kill people.
Did your rage express itself on the athletic field, and is that one of the things your coaches helped you with?
Did it, Michael?
Yeah, he's got some prescription great issues.
Yeah. The greatest compliment I ever received, and I was blessed, I was fortunate. I didn't sit on the bench. I started 3 of my 4 years in college, and
You are lucky.
so yeah, I could play. I know I don't look it, but I could play. And a dad came up to me one night after a game. He said, "Hey, I want to introduce my son to you." And I was 22, maybe too young, too stupid to even understand the magnitude of what this guy was about to say. He was like, "I bring my son to watch you play because you do it right. You play your ass off. You play 100 miles an hour." And so, you know, of course, I met the little kid, and I told him how you need to play your ass off anytime you're doing any sport or whatever you're doing. I tell my kids the same thing. You're going out in the business world in 10 years, you better hook up and play your ass off or work your ass off, because, you know, just like being here tonight, you know, we drove 11 hours, and, you know, we're 30 minutes from, you know, $3,500 at casino. We saw the value of coming to Red Barn Radio Show, and so to me, it's just, we're here working our ass off, and, you know, just what better example we can be for our kids, or cheerleaders, or I say cheerleaders. They call themselves competitive athletics, but she's gonna fight me. You get to ride home with her. But
There's some posturing going on behind your back there.
yes, I'm sure some bobbing and head weaving, but yeah, it expresses itself when I played. Yeah, I was like, when I learned how to hit in football, I was kind of like the water boy, Bobby Boucher. I would let out a big yell.
So you come from all that, from that sort of situation and those circumstances, and you go through, you know, something so unthinkable as losing a child, and then you find yourself a dad.
Yeah.
And I guess you found a partner who was able to help you come into your own and realize that the rage wasn't worth it.
I married the only woman right there that could probably stand me on this planet. 25 years, and she couldn't fix me. She just managed me. So, you know, my boy was 3 when Micah was 3 when Jacob was born, and then we had our daughter 2 years after that, Madison, and you know, she's never, you know, stopped my music. She's always encouraged me to do what I'm good at, and she's really the reason I did keep writing, because nobody wants to hear, you know, it's not very good, you know, you suck, especially from your spouse. So when I would play stuff for her, and like this next couple of songs I'm doing, she would tell me, you know, hey, that's a good song, you need to do that one, or she would tell me, no, you can't do that song because you cuss in it, and your mom's gonna get mad, and I'm mad. So, but she traveled out here with me 12 hours, and she's gonna travel back with me 12 hours. Regardless.
Well, Wesley and Randy and Mike and Stacy and Steve, it's been great to have you guys on the program tonight. We're glad you took the time to come out here and be with us, and we enjoyed your music a lot, and hope to hear more from you. We'll watch closely and see what goes on with you.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks for having us out.
Yeah, let's welcome back Wesley Michael Hayes and his band.
I wrote this song for my dad, James Michael Hayes. Drinking 12-pack of Coors every Friday night, out at the moon of those neon lights. Always looking for a lover he would never find,
running with the devil, left him broken, blind. But he said, son, don't you listen when she sings that song. Won't you think about me long after I'm gone? He said, run, boy, just run away. If you let her catch you, there'll be hell to pay. And he said, run, boy, don't turn around. If you let her catch you, she will drag you down to hell. Them Marlboro lights like they were going out of style. If you tell him quit, he'd just laugh and smile. He was wild and free as a man could be. Little smoke and drink helped him be at peace. But he says, son, don't you listen when she sings that song. Won't you think about me long after I'm gone? When he said, run, boy, just run away. If you let her catch you, there'll be hell to pay. And he said, run, boy, don't turn around. If you let her catch you, she will drag you down to hell. Run away. If you let her catch you, there'll be hell to pay. And he said, run, boy, don't turn around. If you let her catch you, she will drag you down to hell. This is one of those songs that I played for my wife, and she was like, oh, that's a good song. And I sang the very last line. She's like, nope, you can't do that song. I said, well, it's not a radio song, honey. It's just made for CD. So this is growing up in Pentecostal church. And my mother, all she knew to do for me was to take me to church. That was going to cure what ails me. It didn't, but enough of it took. And this is for all the hypocrites out there. It's called Jesus Loves Me. I'm the chief of the sinners, the devil in disguise, the jester of the dark horse when I held sin way up high. I've been a wolf in sheep's clothing, yeah, lust is my disease. I've been hated by the righteous, but I don't care, 'cause Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, even though I fail him every single time. Yes, Jesus loves me, so you can stick that wooden plank in your eye. Yes, Jesus loves me. Let me tell you how I know that this is true. 'Cause the last I checked, you ain't sin free, so you can raise your glass. 'Cause Jesus loves me. I've been a drunkard on the dance floor, hung over in the pew. Yeah, I stole from the tithe plate when I thought nobody knew. I've been strung out in a jail cell, but they had good food to eat. I've been hated by the righteous, but I don't care, 'cause Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, even though I fail him every single time. Yes, Jesus loves me, so you can stick that wooden plank in your eye. Yes, Jesus loves me. Let me tell you how I know that this is true. 'Cause last I checked, you ain't sin free, so you can tip your glass, 'cause Jesus loves me. Let's drive her home. Yes, Jesus loves me, even though I fail him every single time. Yes, Jesus loves me, so you can stick that wooden plank in your eye. Yes, Jesus loves me. Let me tell you how I know that this is true. Oh, the last I checked, you ain't sin free, so you can raise your glass, 'cause Jesus loves me. 'Cause the last I checked, you ain't sin free, so you can kiss my ass, 'cause Jesus loves me. Yes, he do, and so does my mama.
You can't play that in church, Brad, but you can play it in the car. I wrote this song coming back from Rooster Street Ice House. I did a show in Corpus Christi, Texas. A lot of windshield time. Whiskey is the woman is the whiskey.
Take the stage, plug it in, look at the crowd, and there she is again, ready to take me home tonight. Tall and slim, I drank her in, she knows just how to make me swim, all alone on her deep end. But in the morning, I'm back out on the street, alone again in misery. Oh, big whiskey, you're my lover, you're my woman, you're my friend. But don't you call me in the morning, 'cause I don't wanna see you again. Oh, big whiskey, you know you let me down, make all my demons come round. Yeah, big whiskey. Another night, another show, I live my life out on the road. Every highway seems to hold a song. When she shows up, I wear down, she set me up for another round of whiskey bending hell-bound trains. But in the morning, I'm back out on the street, alone again in misery. Oh, big whiskey, But don't you call me in the morning, 'cause I don't wanna see you again. Oh, big whiskey, you know you let me down. Make all my demons come round. Yeah, big whiskey.
We would like to thank Wesley Michael Hayes and his band for being with us this evening. We also thank our volunteers for their help with our production each week. We give a very special thanks to Nick Lazaroff for his production photography, and thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on Facebook and YouTube Live, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, public radio for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.fm. It's your chance to hear more great live Kentucky music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. We also thank the members of our studio audience for supporting the mission of Red Barn Radio, which strives to present, promote, and preserve the rich musical tradition and artists of this Kentucky region and share this treasure with the world. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Tickets for Red Barn Radio are now available at eventbrite.com Lexington. And now next week, Red Barn Radio welcomes Jamie Suttle. She is a Kentucky-born singer-songwriter whose roots reach deep into the rich soil of American music. The seeds of her inspiration were planted at a young age while singing in her church. As she grew, it flourished under the sweltering heat of soul, R&B, and rock, all the while being suffused with gospel and classic country music. That's Janie Suttle and her band next week at 7 p.m. here on the Red Barn stage. Hey, once again, let's give it up for Wesley Michael Hayes here on the Red Barn stage. I think they got another one for us.
Well, we were talking earlier and some fella said something about Jerry Reed, so let's do a little Jerry Reed.
Yeah, here come Amos. Amos Moses was a Cajun, lived by himself in the swamp. He hunted alligator for living. He just knock him in the head with a stump. Well, Louisiana law won't get you, Amos. It ain't illegal hunting alligator down in the swamp, boy. Everybody blamed his old man for making him mean as a snake. But Amos Moses was a boy his daddy would use him for alligator bait. Tie a rope around the waist, throw him in the swamp. Alligator bait in the Louisiana bayou. About 45 minutes out of the east of Thibodaux, Louisiana. Let the man called Doc Millsap in his video Havana. Well, he raised up a son like he eat up his weight in groceries. Named him after the man of the cloth. Called him Amos Moses. Yeah, sit down on him, Amos. Make it count, son. Folks around South Louisiana said Amos was a hell of a man. He could trap the biggest, the meanest alligator and just use one hand. Well, so all he got left because the alligator bit it. Left arm gone clean up to the elbow. Well, the chef got wind of Amos. Was in the swamp trapping alligator skin. So he stuck in the swamp gonna get the boy, but he never come out again. Well, I wonder where the Louisiana chef went to. Well, you can sure get lost in the Louisiana bayou. About 45 minutes southeast of Thibodaux, Louisiana. With a man called Doc Millsap and his pretty wife Anna. Well, he raised up a son like a was waiting grocery. Named him after Santa Claus. Called him Amos Moses. Yeah. About 45 minutes at the east of Thibodaux, Louisiana. There's a man called Doc Millsap and his pretty wife Anna. Well, he raised up a son that could eat up his weight in groceries. Named him after Santa Claus. Called him Amos Moses. Thank you, Warren. Thank you for having us out. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Red Barn Radio. Check me out at wesleymichaelhayes.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, folks, that's it for the program this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. In North America, our program is also available on the WEKU app. Check out Red Barn Radio on demand. And now from all of us here in Lexington, Kentucky, to all of our friends worldwide, it is our wish that you be well and that you join us next week for another great night of Kentucky music here on Red Barn Radio.